Nimble, digitally aided sales and marketing has created a tsunami of change in the sales process, causing a shift towards the human touch of inside sales. In part, because of this shift, Foster predicts that 1 million business-to-business salespeople will lose their jobs in the field by 2020 as businesses scramble to maximize sales productivity, but without the right tools to measure its impact on revenue. Hi, my name is Vic Hunter. I'm from Hunter Business Group. I'm here to talk to you about measurements for inside sales reps. Now, most companies measure their inside sales reps on revenue, and that's a simple measurement. It's one that allows most companies to decide if they want to keep a sales rep or just fire them, but it's not really an effective way of measuring improvement in that sales rep beyond just end results of increased sales. So the real trick is to understand, how do you measure the process that drives performance of your inside sales reps? Often when we complete an inside sales health check for our clients, we find them at the extremes of measurement and reporting, either only measuring revenue or only measuring a batch of activities with no defendable line of sight to revenue. How does each activity fit with the others to impact performance? If you can't answer that question, your measures are not useful. Well, there are certain vital activities that define that process, that allow us to measure performance, to measure the improved skills and behaviors of the people that are on the phone, to be able to predict, based on changes in those behaviors, what the impact will be on total revenue. These vital activities and measures include selling hours per $1,000 of cost, hours of selling time per year, phone dialings, completed conversations, orders, and dollars per order. Together, they form a simple measurement of inside sales that you can use to impact revenue with small changes on each activity. Now, building this model is going to take a short trip back into your math class, but I think when we get into it, you'll see it's a fairly simple model to understand how to tie these activities into changes in revenue. At a repair parts distributor, Ned was asked to bring the performance of his inside sales team up by 20% next year. Margins and budgets are tight, so adding people is not an option. Salary, benefits, direct costs are about $60,000 a rep, and a quick measure of selling time yields an estimate of about 1,500 hours per rep. So we can start with about 25 hours of selling time for each $1,000 of operating costs. A couple of weeks of time study tracking found that each rep made an average of about 7 dialings per hour, and 1 out of 5 of those dialings converted into a conversation. So about 1 out of 5 conversations are completed per dial. That's about 20%. Okay, I just want to stop here a minute, and I want to focus on 2 elements. The first element is dialing per hour, and the second element is completes per dial. Now, when we multiply dials per hour times completes per dial, we get number of completes per hour. And what we want to focus on is this ratio of completed conversations per hour. Now, this is Ned's magic ratio, because he's gone out to peers in the marketplace and he's asked them, how do they measure their productivity? And they've talked to him about completes per hour. And Ned, when he made this calculation, realized he was getting about 11 completes a day, and his peers are getting about 15 completed conversations a day. So this is a key area for Ned to focus on as he tries to increase his performance. But before we go further on that, let's finish the model. 1 out of 4 completed conversations led to an order. That's about 25%. The average order size was $800 for each of the 6 reps. This completed the measure. So Ned created a plan to meet or exceed his goal to increase revenue $420,000 per rep, or $2,520,000 in total, by 20%. During the time study, Ned witnessed firsthand the disruptions of urgent customer service calls, quoting, and finding product specifications. He also sized up his people. During the second week, Bill told Ned he preferred working out customer problems to selling, and his sales performance confirmed his attitude and behavior. Instead of firing or replacing Bill, Ned saw his opportunity to increase the number of completed calls per hour, the magic number, by having Bill take over the front line of customer service, giving up all of his outbound calls, and using downtime to work on quotes and specifications. Ned had customer service overflow distributed round-robin style to the other 5 reps who could keep track of all calls and contacts through CRM. The reorganized team would share their measures, learn from each other, and earn bonuses on improvement of overall performance. Along the way, small increases in rep salary and bonus, selling hours, completed dials per hour, orders, dollars per order were built in. This was possible in part because Bill now took the greater part of the burden for customer service calls off of the rest of the sales reps. Now, without the incoming customer service calls, the sales reps were free to focus on time for outbound calls, significantly increasing the magic number, completed calls per day. In the end, the 20% increase was met by only 5 reps with a 44% increase in revenue per rep. Ned bolted on some pretty interesting additions to this model as the year went on. He began to look at how many opportunities he got per completed call. He looked at how many appointments were being set for his field salespeople. You know, when those opportunities were over $5,000, how many opportunities did he get for each of the completed calls that his team was making? He looked at orders per completed call. These became really powerful tools as his model began to mature during the year. Now, Ned still spends about 20% of his time monitoring his salespeople. He's found that no one measure is more important than another when it comes to measuring the performance of his reps. A very talented closer who doesn't complete enough calls will have a performance very similar to a terrible closer with a high complete rate. He's also learned that losing a salesperson doesn't mean losing sales. When he moved Bill to customer service, the remaining 5 sales reps were able to accomplish more than the 6 together in the previous year. By observing the actual activity of each rep, noting obstacles to their success, and making measurable changes to measurable activities, he was able to make a measurable impact on revenue. Now, that's a measurement and a process that drives more revenue per sales rep and more revenue for the company. So if you'd like a copy of that dashboard, just drop me a note, or maybe we can set up a call. And I want to thank you for joining us today on an idea engine focused on measurement and improved performance for your inside sales.